This is Penny Reagan. Actually, at holisticliberty.net now. I got my website up, but I don't have it completed. I wanted to talk to you about breakdowns. Breakdowns and cycles. Okay? A lot of times when you're getting into the holistic lifestyle, it's very easy, especially if you're a LOA person, to believe that you should always be happy. And that if for some reason you're not happy, something is wrong, you're doing something wrong, you're screwing up somehow, whatever. Now, I am not sure if there is a person who is happy 24/7 constantly. Maybe there is. That I'm not sure. Maybe there is. We all are on different levels of our life, and I'm certainly not on the top level. I'm not going to deny it. But I still feel that even though I'm not on the top level, I'm not Joe Dispenza or Esther Abraham Hicks or Greg Braden. I'm not them, okay? I don't have their expertise, okay? I'm not going to lie about that. But I feel I have something to offer because I know what it's like to start way down here, okay? I know what it's like to pull yourself out, up and out of major depressions, like this spiral that keeps going down, where many people who have been in there continue to go down. Many have committed suicide. Many have lived very worse traumatic lives. I feel fortunate that the things that I've gotten into, it could have been so much more wrong. But there was this sense inside of me that somehow I pulled myself out. It was like there was something that was saying, no, this is not the path I want to take. And pulled me out of a lot of things. So this is something that I have had experience with, which I feel because I've had the experience with that I can share this with you. Now, your life is not my life. I have this belief that there's an exception to every rule, but I don't use exception to every rule as an excuse to excuse my way out of the things that, or the basic stuff that I go by, because the exception to every rule is kind of a loophole, but that's another story. And I don't choose to use it as a loophole, but that's another thing I can go into another time. What I'm talking about right now is cycles, or what I call down cycles, okay? It's something that I've stumbled onto. So even when I'm in an up cycle, when I'm happy, when things are going, or I feel like things are going right, or I see things in a different light. I'm grateful every day. I'm happy every day. I look at the positive. I'm more optimistic. Okay? On those times, I know sooner or later I'm going to what I call cycling. And before, this used to discourage me when I first started learning about joy and happiness and stuff like that. And it was like, why am I going back to this? Because I would get discouraged. I would be on a down cycle even longer and end up in depressions again and stuff like that. Then there was a time that, I started recognizing cycling. I was able to handle the down cycles better. But then things started seriously going wrong when my husband passed away and I lost my home and stuff like that. And it was just kind of I visually could imagine myself like crumbling up all the paperwork that represented my beliefs and just tossing them. And it would be harder for me to climb up. Moving in with my mother and taking care of a woman who has dementia and cancer, and watching her go downhill no matter what I do. My life just constantly getting busy, taking care of her and not being able to keep up with what I want to do can really tear you down. And so this last time around, when I started doing the basics on being grateful, bringing myself up, finding the good and everything, I started recognizing the cycle and cycling. I call it cycling, and getting on the downside of the cycling, because basically, and what a lot of people don't understand is physically, we cycle. And women, when they have periods, during that time, their hormones are doing what it does and they're feeling down and a little bit more agitated. They're cycling. Well, just because you stop having a period doesn't mean you don't stop cycling. I'll recognize some of the physical manifestations of cycling. I'll get the little blisters in my mouth. Of course, the desire for certain satisfactions becomes stronger. I know I'm going to start feeling down. Even though it's very uncomfortable to feel down, I can get very agitated, I have learned to be grateful for those moments, because in being grateful for those moments, I understand when I'm down that I can get something good out of it. And that is, when I'm down and the things that I'm complaining about and the things that overwhelming me tell me that this is an area of my life that needs to be worked on, that otherwise I may not have recognized if I didn't have the downside. And I know one might say, well, if you don't have the downside, it's not going to bother you, and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, if these things aren't addressed, then where I want to move forward to in life doesn't happen, because I'm so busy being happy that I don't bother moving forward to, and sooner or later it's going to catch up with me. And this downside, I recognize it, and I'm like, oh God, I hate this. It's so unpleasant. And I've gotten to where I broke down and cried. I recognized that what was upsetting me was I was so busy, cooking, cleaning, doing my mother's laundry, taking care of my mother, cooking for the family, because we finally got the kitchen looking halfway decent. It's now functional, where before Bill and I was just going out to eat, but I was getting to where we couldn't afford it anymore. And we got an Instapot, and I started doing that, and I felt like I'm being pushed into cooking, and I don't feel like cooking. And, the Instant Pot might be easier once you get the ingredients in, but it takes me a couple hours to prepare all the ingredients, because I like to cut up everything instead of always buying canned stuff, although it makes it easier. And I'm cutting up tomatoes, and I'm cutting up potatoes, and I'm cutting up ginger, and I'm cutting up the peppers, and I cut them up really fine, and then preparing all the spices and putting everything in order to where I know this is going to go in first, and that's going to go in second, and that's going to go in third. And it was getting to me, because now I'm not just preparing breakfast and lunch, I'm preparing dinner on top of everything else I had to do. And I really wanted to start pushing my YouTube channel and getting more videos on, and I still have a lot of videos that need to be edited. I still need to learn Blender, which I've been wanting to learn for years, and I get started on, I don't complete, blah, 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 and I'm like, ah. But it made me realize, okay, I need a change. This is the area that needs to be worked on. It also upsets me not having an income in, and, then I have to deal with, all this other stuff. Taking care of somebody with dementia and with cancer, even though she's on hospice, is a lot of responsibility. So I finally realized that one of the things that was bothering me is I don't seem to have enough time with my daughter. When she calls to talk to me, I have to keep cutting her off because I'm always busy. And I feel bad about that, because I know she needs her mother and I want to be there for her. So I just said, I need to go to Nicole's. My son is okay with that. He's okay with taking care of Grandma for a few days to cut me a break. After all, I cut him a break and had him go there for a week while I took care of Grandma. And it seems like it's getting more and more difficult, and she's having more and more days of confusion, and it makes things difficult, This way, like, my daughter wants to go to the mall. I said, you can go without me. I need some me time. So when I go down there, because I'm packing up today to go down there. I'll be going down there tomorrow. Today is April 17th. I'll be going down there tomorrow, April 18th. And when I go down there, Bill's going to take me down there, and then he will pick me up Thursday evening. I will have some me time along with time with my daughter. Her husband hasn't seen me in a while, so I planned it on his days off, I just need that time. So when you're going in these down cycles, sometimes it feels hopeless, and sometimes it feels like there's no ending, there's no out, and sometimes you just got to be like, you know what, I know I have all the responsibilities, but I can't function until I take some me time. I still pray, and I'm like, you know, I'm not a religious person, but I believe there's a connection with the universe or whatever. So when I'm praying, I'm talking and I'm trying to feel this connection. And I'm like, look, no matter what, I trust you. Even if I can't feel you, I know that you're there. I trust you. Where before I would just plain get mad at whatever this is and why are you doing this to me or whatever. And I'm not going to say I don't still do that from time to time, but I'm getting better at it. I'm starting to see life in a different way, which is another video. But right now, I just wanted to focus on, yes, even in a holistic life, we do have some downtimes. We do cycle, and it's not the end of the world. And it is another thing that you can be grateful for simply because that is the time that is telling you this is the area that you need to change, that you need to work on. And sometimes it feels like I don't know what to do. I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. Sometimes you need to, you know, meditate, pray, whatever you want to call it. Ask for an answer, because sometimes when it seems like there's no answer out there, like, there's no escape, something pops out of nowhere. That's what I remember when I'm in my down times. I know that there I've had other times in my life where I felt that there was no escape, no answer, whatever. And in my down times, I'm like, it's been 20 years and I still haven't succeeded in this. And I understand why. I know why I haven't. Okay? And it's not something that can't change. I mean, I was a person that had to drink sweet tea, and now I prefer unsweetened. I never thought I would drink unsweetened tea. I was a person that, the first time I tried bubbly, I was like, ugh, or any carbonated water, ugh. But now I actually prefer it. I got accustomed to it, and I actually prefer it, which goes to show something about taste and things that you enjoy and don't enjoy eating, and you can switch yourself over to a healthier diet with this. But that's, again, another. But if I could make these changes, and I could make the necessary changes to turn my life around. This is showing me what's really I need to work on. What's important to me that I keep putting aside. So there is a benefit to the down cycle. It's learning how to use this to help you move forward. Thank you for watching. My name is Penny Reagan at Holistic Liberty, holisticliberty.net. I don't have it where I want it to be, but I do have it back up. Have a lovely day. Bye. Do I even have this on record? It's not counting up. If this is not... Okay, it is counting up. Okay, I'm going to have to delete that one. As an excuse to... And so I just said, I need to go to Nicole's. Okay with that. He's okay with taking care. And